Hi everybody. I'm playing with some fake hair tonight, so we'll see how this pans out. I did put some hair mascara on my front hairs to try and blend it out, but I don't know. But this video isn't about hair, so let me do my intro. Hello everyone, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for visiting with me today. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel, The Cutting Board. We do all kinds of content here. We do chit chat, we do true crime, we do food content, DIY, makeup, SFX makeup. We do hauls, reviews, and most importantly, at least to me, Disney content. I have lots of interests and I want to share them with you. So before I get started on the main topic, I wanted to bring this one thing up. I know Gypsy Rose is an unaliver, okay? I know that. And as far as we know, Truthfully Trisha has never unalived anyone, as far as we know. But that's not a feather in her cap, okay? People are like, well, this person never killed anybody, so what? She never killed anyone, whoop-de-doo. So most of us haven't. So by that logic, you can be the crappiest person in the world, but as long as you've never killed anyone, you're cool, right? That's just how it feels. That's what it feels like y'all are saying. I don't like it when people say things like, yeah, she's bad, but she's never killed anyone. When you say things like that, you are dismissing accountability. So, no, I don't care if she's never killed anyone. You don't get to be a shitty person as long as you don't cross that line. That's not how it works. A dirty person is a dirty person. Jeffrey Epstein supposedly didn't kill anyone. So are you all cool with him now? You're all cool with him? He's fine now? No, you're not. He actually probably has killed somebody, but there's nothing on record that I could find. So, but just, indulge me. It doesn't matter. So Truthfully Trisha is holding on to this lie that she's been blown beauty art for 5 years or so, whatever. And she certainly has some of her viewers really fooled. She does. Just some. I'm not going to use any of her content because she is infamous for false copyright strikes. And we dealt with that enough already, haven't we? She's kind of gross. And I am not someone that wants to side with Gypsy. Trust me, I don't want to side with Gypsy Rose. And sure, this could be a distraction. They could be cahooting, who knows? But I'm going to talk about this anyway because I feel like it. These two crazy ladies may be working together. I realize that. Crazy attracts crazy. Trisha may have been creating these paintings, for several years, which I think she has, but it's never been the focal point of her content. So why now? Why now? Because she's a leech. She latches on to anything that she thinks might elevate her in any way. It's rumored that she has bought subscribers. She has 74,500 subscribers, but that doesn't really add up when you look at her engagement. She should be garnering a lot more views and comments. However, she might be buying some views as well. It's possible. You can do that. Granted, some might say my sub to engagement is off, and it is. But once you get up to 74,500 subs, that engagement should line up a little better. It will never be perfect for anybody. It never will be. But it should be more than what it is. She claims that she's a survivor of DV. Most people don't believe that. And I'm not going to say one way or another, but she has shown in her live streams that she was the ABUSER in her marriage. And he's gone now. Sean is gone now. They're divorced. And from what I understand, he married a lovely woman who was a Trisha hater. People tend to hate folks that they think might be better than them. That's not the case here. No one is hating on Trisha because she's better, because she's not better. The term hater is frequently misused, as it is in Truthfully Trisha's case, as well as Gypsy Rose's case. But she doesn't have haters. She has people who think that she should be called out on her BS. Again, just like Gypsy Rose. But yeah, her ex-husband is now married to one of her haters. And well, from what I hear, they have a happy marriage. So, la-di-da. Also, it is my understanding that her children, Trisha's children, they're grown now and they want nothing to do with her. That's just what I gathered and what I heard on Hello Starlight. And she still won't change. Her children want nothing to do with her because of her constant streaming and her acting crazy. It's craziness. She's clearly unmedicated. She needs to be. And, there's only so much a family can take. There really is. It's really very tragic. So she said that, people harass her online, call her terrible names, tell her to get in the self-checkout line. But these are things she has also done and things she has said to people. And I don't doubt that people have told her those things, those terrible things. I don't doubt it at all, because people have told me those things on a regular basis. I get told to put myself in the self-checkout line at least 2 times a day. I really do. It no longer bothers me because people that say things like that are miserable. But again, the thing is with Trisha, she does this to other people too. She always has. She's known not for being this wonderful vlogger, this picture of inspiration, this wonderful live streamer. She is known for being problematic. She's extremely dishonest. She's delusional. And a lot of the stuff that she says other people have done to her, she's probably done to herself to make other people look bad. She did it and said so-and-so did it. To make it seem like she's so hated. And people don't like her, that's for sure. People do not like her because she is not a likable person. She is hateful. She's mean, jealous of anyone she perceives as doing better than her. She's just an awful person. And these people, there aren't a lot of them, mind you, but these people kissing her butt are as delusional as the Gypsy Rose supporters. She tried to be Sniper Wolf at one point. She thought she was going to pull that off. She wants so desperately to be a big star on the internet. She said on Dr. Phil that she was the Rosa Parks of the internet. I can't share that clip because Dr. Phil's network, they like to strike too. They do. But that show is all over YouTube. You can go watch it. Just search Truthfully Trisha, Dr. Phil. It'll pop right up. It was a 2-parter. But Rosa Parks? No, sweetie, no. Rosa Parks is a respected historical figure. Trisha is a crazy whack job woman on YouTube. We have at least 1 million of those. We do. Trisha has done nothing as significant as Rosa Parks and probably never will. That was an insult to Rosa Parks. It really was. It was an insult to her legacy. Trisha claims that she also had mysterious pizza show up at her door. I don't know if she sent it to herself and said someone else sent it to her. Like a hater. And guys, don't do things like that. First of all, don't waste your money on shitheads. Don't do that. And secondly, she ate the pizza. If a stranger sends you pizza and you don't know what the deal is, don't eat the pizza, for God's sake. But anyway, she ate a piece with black pepper on it, which, I'm sure black pepper is on all pizza, but she claims she's allergic to, and people can be allergic to black pepper. It's a rare allergen, but people can be allergic to it. So after she ate the peppered pizza, she, in my opinion, just my opinion, started faking a terrible allergic reaction. Nothing in that allergic reaction seemed real at all. She was, saying her tongue was swollen. It was not. It was not. On Dr. Phil, he showed a person who was actually having a severe allergic reaction going into anaphylaxis. I don't know if I said that right or used that term correctly, but you know what I mean. It was nothing like the performance Truthfully Trisha was putting on, Her reaction was not real. I feel confident in saying that. But she called emergency, wasting resources, on her desperate for attention butt. And her husband came home and he was upset. She was streaming while emergency was there. She was live streaming the whole thing. You have to live stream your emergency? Really? That seems silly. In an emergency situation, who thinks to grab the camera? Who thinks about, oh my God, I better get this on live stream? No normal thinking person. There's also footage of her jumping in front of a car of one of her haters, and she screamed that the woman, she yelled that the woman hit her. Absolutely not. That's not what happened. And I don't care if the woman driving the car is problematic. I don't know if she is. I'm just saying it doesn't matter. I don't do whatabouts. And her husband was backing her up, dude. Dude, you're dumb. Trisha claimed the woman was heading towards her, and she was not. Trisha ran to the car and jumped on it. She really thought that she did something. She really thought she did something. Excuse me. She has live streamed personal private arguments with her family, which is so invasive to her family and so disrespectful. Just so disrespectful. And mean. It's mean. And, her husband or ex-husband now was frequently angry because of her constant streaming their entire life online. Everything she does for attention. And this recent stunt, by claiming Blown Beauty art is hers, it's just another stunt. She didn't start Blown Beauty art. Okay, she didn't. She did not. She may have been doing this kind of artwork for several years, but she did not start Blown Beauty art. Okay, when Gypsy Rose came out and said that she was Blown Beauty art, Trisha jumped on that. She jumped on it because that's what she does. Again, she is a leech. She's a leech. She's banking on the Gypsy verse to, make her famous. But, I think that we only have room for one crazy hoe. One crazy whack job, and that is Gypsy Rose. That's her role. When she was on Dr. Phil, she said some ridiculous things. She said, to live your life authentically, you have to speak the truth, no matter how hard it is. This is one of her attempts at trying to be, trying to sound like an inspiration, like she's some kind of inspirational figure. She's not inspirational. She's just messy. She claims that she was put in a mental hospital for saying she saw trolls. And she claims that she meant internet trolls. But why would she word it that way and say she saw trolls? That's not how you would say you're dealing with internet trolls. It's not really how one would say that. So I don't know if I buy that. I don't. But I don't believe anything she says. I really don't. This woman is a joke. She live streamed a supposed breakdown because she was mad her husband went to visit family. And, so she had to make a spectacle of things. She, pretended to have a breakdown. She rubbed fake blood all over herself and just, spread on the breakdown a little too thick. Hi, Ellen, come up. But she makes some very problematic YouTubers look like angels. They look like complete angels compared to her. So a guest on Dr. Phil, another guest, Wendy, who was recently on Hello Starlight, and you have to check out that live if you haven't already. I'll link it in the description below. But she had some things to say too. But unfortunately, we couldn't get, too much out of her because Trisha would not shut up. She would not shut her mouth. And Wendy states that Trisha is a narcissistic, selfish, delusional, attention-seeking bully. And I think that is an extremely accurate description. She has called a woman posing as a nurse, like she telephoned a woman posing as a nurse, asking for her medical information. She claimed that one of her haters' husband was running a pill mill. She would actively fight on lives with her family. And where are they now? Not with her. They're not with her. She's alone. That's what happens to narcissists. Everyone eventually learns and leaves. And narcissists, they get to be alone. That's their reward for their bad behavior. Her actions and her behavior hurt her family so bad that they have pulled away from her. And it looks like it's just her now. Dale is another victim of Trisha's. She claimed that he was a man that hurts children intimately. Let me put it that way. He claims that she also made fun of him for being blind and autistic. He was the one who talked about Trisha posting a video of herself in the shower. Now, Trisha claimed that she didn't realize that it was being recorded. However, she's the one who would have to set the camera up. So, I'm calling BS on that too. He also claims that she had sent him several sexual messages. On Dr. Phil, she claims that he hacked into her husband's email. And Sean, her husband at the time, is hardcore backing her up. It's really quite pathetic. And I get it. I understand you stand up for your spouse, but when she's making you look like a total fool, you have to just sit back and look at the big picture and say, oh crap, she did these things. She did these things. And then on Dr. Phil, there's her dramatic exit. First she's walking out the wrong way. And then, she has to pretend to faint. She literally throws herself on the floor like an idiot, like a petulant child, like an actual idiot. And she's laying there crying, or fake crying, like a child throwing a fit, throwing a tantrum. It is ridiculous. But honestly, I could watch that crap over and over again. It's hilarious. And I'm pleased that Dr. Phil points out that it's a histrionic game. Actually, a good point. She could be histrionic, not necessarily a narcissist, or she could be both. She could be both. You know, such a rare breed. But we should look into that. We should delve into histrionic versus narcissistic, into that in another video. Maybe I will. I'll think about it. But she has a recent live. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is a cult leader. We already know that. We've been known. We already knew that, and we've been saying that. Nothing new there. Not an original thought, Trisha. Just not. It's just cringy, unhinged, maniacal craziness. She claims that the person on Dr. Phil is not who she is anymore. Like she said, that's not who I am anymore. But before, I'm not going to get into that part. But now she says she's Blown Beauty Art, and it's her company, and she owns blownbeautyart.com. Yet, the stupid website is not even ready yet. It says it's launching soon. It's not even launched. And her first Blown Beauty Art TikTok post was a couple days after Gypsy Rose said that she was Blown Beauty Art. It's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. But you know what? I don't think she is quite the same person. I agree with that. She's not the same person. I think she's actually way, way more loony. She's a whack job. In this stream, she points out that Gypsy is a killer and asks basically, why doesn't she deserve grace when an effing murderer like Gypsy Rose is getting grace? I don't know who's giving her grace except for her cult followers. Here's the thing. I don't think either one of them deserve grace. And most people aren't giving Gypsy any grace. I'm not giving her grace. And I don't know anybody who is. But we don't have to give it to Trisha either. We don't have to give it to either one. Big deal, Trisha. You haven't murdered anybody. Here, let me forge you a medal in the hearth. Oh my gosh. You're such a hero, Trisha. You never killed anybody. Woohoo! Guess what, genius? Guess what? Most of us have never killed anybody. That doesn't automatically earn you grace. That doesn't make you a good person. Yes, I called a blind autistic man horrible names and made fun of his disabilities. And yes, I've bullied people to the point of actually putting themselves in the self-checkout line. I did those things. I have filed false police reports. And I have done horrible things online, but I've never killed anybody. So I deserve praise. That's insane to me. So she thinks as long as she, doesn't murder anybody, that she can do crazy, horrible things to people. It's ludicrous. And then she said, something about Gypsy stealing other people's ideas and intellectual property. Gypsy isn't the first person to do blown art. Trisha isn't the first person to do blown art. Gypsy didn't steal one of Trisha's paintings and claim it to be her own. It's not stealing intellectual property. It is simply just a technique, a very simple technique that no one owns and anyone can do, and anyone has the right to do it. And no one knew a thing about Trisha's blown art until after Gypsy showed her work. Trish is trying to feed off the Gypsy Rose machine. Again, she's a leech. I'm not trying to defend Gypsy Rose. I'm not. But it is what it is. So anyway, that's it for this video. I'm going to keep my eye on the situation. Although I don't think it is going to get too far. I really feel like it. Yeah, I mean, it might. But I think this will fizzle out. I really do. She's going to lose steam. But I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.